we've now been joined by the owner of JR Motorsports, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale, congratulations. Obviously, this is a big win for Connor, but truly with 100 wins now in the books for JRM, today has to be a very special day for you and Kelly and everyone that's involved at the organization.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man. It's I guess the one thing that I'd like to say is thank you to every employee that opened the door to walk through that building in the last, I don't know how many years. Everybody that's working upstairs in the office, everybody on the shop floor, I don't care if you push a broom, clean a toilet, or build a super speedway car that we went to Daytona with. It takes every single employee to move all that forward and to keep it going. And so everyone or anyone that ever stepped in that building had an influence on anything we ever did. And that goes with all the drivers, obviously, too, is a list of great drivers that were behind the wheel of our cars over the years that have helped us win all these races. You don't set out to win 100 races. You just set out to win the first one you can, you know, to get one win, then maybe another, and then maybe another. And you just stack it together. And then you try to stack years together and try to keep it, you know, give your partners value. And, you know, it's been a fun ride. It's been rewarding and wonderful. There's been some tough times and some hard times, but it's what you willing to go through to have the great moments and protect the livelihood of your employees too. So, yeah, it's been awesome. And, you know, special place to win at Indy. You know, Connor did an incredible job to be able to get the lead back and be able to win the race. So just it's a special day.
All right, we'll go ahead and go for questions now. I know we'll have several. I'll get to as many of you guys as I can, and we're going to start with Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, the Athletic. We'll start with this. How many beers so far?
That's the first one. Some fan handed me two on the way in here, and so I was like, damn, all right. Perfect brand, too.
Two other questions. One, when you look back at the history of JRM, you've 100 wins now, what is the one win that really stands out to you?
Man, the wins aren't, they don't stand out like that. I mean, obviously they all have little reasons why they're fun or neat. And, of course, winning as a crew chief was a pretty cool experience, one I never thought I'd have. And, you know, winning at Daytona is always special. It's fun when we're all there together, you know, so Kelly and LW can celebrate. It's tough because they have other responsibilities that at times are prioritized, and I do too. Like next weekend, I got a family thing, and they got a son they're taking all over across the country to race and try to grow him up. And so there's times when we can't all be there, and you know, but there's some, you know, some good moments. The fun moments that you remember are like the funny shit that happens at a Christmas party or something great that happens to an employee, a milestone for an employee, something great in their life. The wins all kind of blur together, but, you know, it's kind of, there's some other things, I guess, I don't know that we don't expect to win, but it's the unexpected things that happen are the ones that stick in your memory, you know? And some of that stuff's always mostly off the racetrack stuff. And so, like getting a call from Navy and them saying, hey, do you want to start a race team? Buying that first car. That was a DEI car that Paul Menard had raced somewhere, and we took it to Homestead, and Mark McFarland drove it, and he wouldn't run up against the wall in the straightaway, and I cussed at him the whole race, and we run 18th or 20th, and probably as good as we were going to run. I remember all the times trying to dig and get our car to run in the top 10 and calling up Brad Keselowski. And Brad, when I called Brad, I'm calling Brad thinking he just drove that car at Memphis, that truck. Y'all remember that? Almost won the race, got spun out. And I'm thinking everybody in the world's calling Brad. And I called him thinking, I bet somebody bigger or better has already called him to ask him to drive for him. And I remember calling him thinking, man, I hope he'll say yes. And he, you know, of course he did. And he helped us keep our cars in one piece so we could build them better and get them where they run good enough for him so he could get us to victory lane. And, you know, I remember all that stuff more than specific wins. But I do appreciate some of the, you know, some of the rare ones, like driving my own car at Richmond. Anytime, you know, like McMurray got in our car once at Atlanta. Funny story, I left the track that morning. I was going to the car show at JR Motor Speedway because I had my eye on the 67 Camaro I wanted to buy that was there, that I'd seen the day before, and I made my mind up I was going to go buy it. And I left the track, and he wins the race, and I could see him on TV mouthing to Tony Sr., "Where's Dale Jr.?" when he got out of the car. And I was like, holy shit, I feel terrible. I'm not there. But I bought the Camaro. You know, those are the things that I remember. And it's been a fun road. Hopefully we'll have some more memories. I know we're right in the middle of what I think we can do as a company. So we got many more things to accomplish.
Connor has a series best 5 wins now. He's got, 8 straight top 5 finishes. Is he ready for the Cup Series?
I guess. I mean, sure would love to have him one more year. But, you know, I don't know with how different the Xfinity car is versus the Cup car. You can learn some racecraft and some judgment and decision-making in any car, right? The Truck Series or the Xfinity Series. But, you know, he's got to get behind the wheel of that next-gen car to really understand what it does differently, because it drives differently, feels differently, independent rear suspension, how the air gets to the back of the diffuser. It's the only NASCAR stock car with a diffuser on it. So he needs to understand how all that works, and the only way to do it is to get behind the wheel. So, you know, it's probably too expensive to dilly-dally and run him in 10 or 15 races a year for a while to sort of get his feet wet. Just might as well jump right on in there. So I understand the process, and I don't know when or how they'll plan to announce his future, but I think we can all see the writing on the wall. And honestly, I think that kid has potential to do incredible Hall of Fame worthy things. And I'm glad he's driving our car. I'm glad that Junior Motorsports and all the folks that are working there will forever be woven into the fabric of his story, and he's woven into the fabric of ours. I think that's really neat. So that's the best part, I think, about everything we do, is seeing drivers, mechanics, crew chiefs, engineers, employees, even marketing, PR, doesn't matter, seeing those people get called up to a Cup team and go work for a large Cup organization and be successful and stand on the championship stage one day. I mean, that's really neat that we can be that sort of place where they can pave that road for themselves, you know. So,
Go ahead.
Kristen Hardy, Indianapolis Star. Dale, with those statistics that you just heard about Connor, what is it about Connor that reminds you of yourself or another young, hot shot at that age, with how good he is?
Yeah, I don't know that I remember. I mean, the only thing I think it's close to is probably Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson. So he might be even more of a comet, sort of a rare. He might be even more rare than that, because I don't know, man. If y'all get a chance to spend time around him, you'll realize how mature he is, and I think there's probably a lot of parents in the room that would be amazed at his level of maturity at 18 years old. And so his mom and dad sent him overseas at 12 to race go-karts by himself. They didn't go with him. They didn't send a cousin or a brother or sister or anybody. And he only knew one individual over there. And as Connor tells it, he had to ride a bicycle up and down the road every day to get his dinner, his lunch, his breakfast, get his haircut, get his mail, do everything at 12. And, I'm sure he had some, guidance, but how that matured him is insane. Now that's, I would never send my 12-year-old. I don't have one. I got a 7 and a 4, but I ain't never sending my 12-year-old overseas. Even if I knew it would turn out great, I just couldn't make myself, bring myself to do it. But it's whatever, there's something that has positioned him in such a way that's very unique. And in terms of his maturity and his ability to understand the moment, to make the mature decision. Now, he makes mistakes, and we've seen him do that. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's pretty impressive to see him work. And, I just feel like we're on the front end. We're all kind of on the front end of witnessing this really incredible career. So it's almost whatever he wants to do.
With 100 wins is special. Getting your 100th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is special. Do you find that there's any additional emphasis on it being special, given that this is the 30th anniversary of your father's win here?
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. That's pretty neat. I was worried that they were going to go to Iowa and win, and I had a family thing. And so that's what I was worried about. I told the guys last night, I said, y'all are going, if y'all don't win today, you're going to Iowa with seven spark plugs instead of 8. Because I can get the Watkins Glen, so I didn't want them to win next weekend. It's the first time we've ever going to send a car to the racetrack and not want it to win. But it's pretty neat. Just real fortunate that we had a great race car. Saw it immediately when the green flag dropped. Connor drove up through the field. They had a little balance issue. They worked on it, and then when Connor, when he needed to fire off at the end and get the job done and get the lead back, he was able to do it. Good race car, smart driver. He timed his run, got him up off of turn 2 perfectly, and got the help he needed from Sam Mayer. Sam pushed the 54 past him, the couple last 4. I'm like, what in the hell? But I'm like, what's going on? Are they buddies? Sam did drive for us once, but I saw Sam on pit road before I got to Victory Lane. And I said, man, you part of this story. You won races with us, and you helped us get to this moment. But and so it was a fun race to watch play out.
All right, John, up front here.
John Newby, Savage Ventures. So obviously everyone knew that Connor's going to be very good on road courses, all of this different stuff. But when you see him packing air in the corners, doing some of these mature moves that you referenced, I mean, what are we not seeing from the work that he's putting in behind the scenes that leads to this so much progression he's made this year?
Yeah, he races all the time, and he can tell you better than I can. But he's in different cars all the time, and I raced against him. we were at Florence, and I'm running about 5th, and I'm struggling tight in the middle of the corner, and he'd been riding and saving his tires, and when it came time to go, he drove through me, and I saw him after the race. I was like, "Damn, you run over me, knocked me out of the way," and he just figured it out. I don't know. Things makes you can ask him, but it feels like that. He's got the common sense to sort of understand exactly how things are playing out in front of him and what decision he needs to make to put himself in the best spot. And I bet he's just raced a ton. These kids start so young, but he's raced all his life, And so, we got kids like Keelan and so forth starting at 5 years old and racing 20 years before they ever get into the cup level, or 15 years before they ever get behind the wheel of a cup car. That's crazy. So, I really didn't get going until I was 24 or 5. And so, and Jeff Gordon, same thing, kind of didn't, they're just getting to where they're racing so young and having so much experience before they ever really get to this point that they make decisions and you're like, holy cow, how'd you know how to do that? Or how'd you know how to make that move? But you could see it, you could watch him those last handful of laps trying to get to the left rear quarter panel of the 54, and he knew where he needed to time the pass and how he needed to make it work.
All right, Daniel, can I get a mic?
Daniel McFadden, frontstretch.com. Got 2 questions for you, Dale. So first, what have the last 9 months been like for you, starting November with Algar, finally winning this championship, February, your first Cup start with Justin, and now today in this accomplishment? How would you sum up this last half year or so?
I mean, I don't. It feels like all the years, you know. I mean, I know there's some great moments in there, but it feels like, you know, every year feels this way. You know, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of great moments, a lot of tough moments. But that win with Justin to win that championship was a big deal. I didn't know how many opportunities he might have to get a chance to do that. And then to come back like he did in that race, we thought we were about 2 laps down at one point. Just didn't look like we were going to win. He wanted to pull the car in and park it. He was so dejected. But and then we turned around and ended up winning the championship that night. It was just crazy things. But we won. There was a year about 2 or 3 years ago, we won about 17 races or something crazy. And we thought, man, we'll never have this kind of year again. That was just, you know, crazy and exciting and just perfect. A lot of things lined up right for us to be able to get that kind of success. And we had never experienced that before and didn't really think we'd ever get to that point again. But here we are, you know, just and there's a lot of reasons why that we're having the year we're having. To answer your question, I guess, Hendrick engines is a big deal, especially at a track like this, at a track like, you know, Pocono. And Rick is part owner of our team, and Rick is always over at the engine shop telling those guys to get us a couple more horsepower here and there, and always working on them to build us better engines. And Justin Marks with Trackhouse wanted to team up a little bit and put some of his drivers in our cars. So you know, we've won some races with them this year, counting, you know, Connor. You know, we get pit crews from Hendrick, we get pit crews from Trackhouse, we get, you know, resources from everywhere, and pretty incredible, to be honest with you. It don't all happen in our building. It all comes from all kinds of places to make it all come together and work. But it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed winning with Rick all these years. It's cool to high five and backslap with Justin Marks after races like today. Just making memories together with your friends and people you like to work with, and like Justin and everything. So it's been pretty memorable.
How big were the emotional swings for you over the last 25 laps of this race? Thinking you might win number 100 with Justin, then it rains, and then finally, you know, Zilisch is the one who comes out.
I've been in that situation before at Homestead, having 2 cars sitting there racing for a championship a couple times. And I remember the year we won a championship with Byron, but we lost it with Elliott Sadler, and I was so heartbroken. Like half of me is torn in bits and pieces because of Elliott and everything he's done for us, and the other half of me is like, damn, we won a championship. So it's tough. I don't know that I can articulate how that feels to watch your car leading the race and get, you know, wreck out of the race, and then you know, hugging on that driver and telling him, hey man, you worked hard, I appreciate you, let's keep our head up. And you got another driver out there trying to win the race, and one standing on pit road brokenhearted climbing out of his car. It's a bit of an odd circumstance for sure, but Justin is mature enough and understands this business. He knows what's going on, and you know, you just kind of try to put your arm around them when the chips are down and things aren't going good, and celebrate with them when they're going right, and you know, try to be a good example and be good. You know, let them know you're in their corner all the time.